Hi Aquarius, quick love and relationship reading for you. While some of you are ready to start a new chapter with this person, Fool card energy, like once in a lifetime adventure, seeing the world perhaps, taking a major trip with your person, some sort of a voyage or like exploration, and it doesn't have to be overseas, but it feels like something really exciting, like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for an adventure between you two. On the other hand, I have a storyline unfolding here for me that's telling me some of you are just taking a trip down memory lane, and that's as far as you're going on this voyage. You're taking a trip down memory lane around this relationship. To me, this relationship is something from the past. It's come full circle. The World card talks about a culmination phase, and Ten of Swords talks to me about this being over. So for some of you, you are stuck in a kind of nostalgic energy around love and relationships right now, Aquarius. But for others, if there's something that has to be done, it's going to be like really momentous for you, something that doesn't come around every day. So I'm excited to get into these cards. We'll look at them together now in just a moment and clear them up. But yeah, so let me see what else we have. Real serious energy. The Fool card is the first major arcana card in the deck, and the World card is the last. So I see this story unfolding of a brand new fresh start, and it's something that you do plan on taking to the furthest level it can go. Maybe that means marriage for some, maybe that means buying a house together, maybe that means opening a business together, having a child together, but some major step is about to unfold for you. Children, maybe you already have children with this person. This is a very fertile looking card. I sort of feel like this even looks like a reproductive system, and Page of Cups is very young, childlike wonder energy. So maybe there is a child in your life with this person, and maybe you're taking a big family trip, something once in a lifetime, like bucket list kind of things. This is like a dream come true energy. Okay, there has been for a while your hesitancy around this relationship has come from like always hearing no for some reason. Like I feel like there's been a lot of no's in this relationship. No, you can't go here, you can't do this, this is not going to be allowed, access denied, and finally that's kind of cleared up for you, and you really can't wait to see what's next. Like you're excited to get yourself out there. Two of Wands is like really motivated to make a change in your life, to adventure, to do something, to create, to make something more. It doesn't have to be a water sign you're dealing with, but there is a water sign energy coming through here, and that's somebody who's pursuing you, Aquarius, gravitating towards you. We do have the Lovers card here, which is beautiful to see in a love reading, indicating that you have really high hopes for this relationship, and especially with whatever this whole enterprise you're doing together right now. For some, I do feel like it's a bucket list trip or like something huge like that, but it could be the unveiling of a new project, a business that you've been working on together, kind of a product that's ready to be launched out into the world. You see this person that you've been dealing with as so much more than just your lover. Like you see them as maybe a business partner, confidant, just like somebody that's always going to be by your side, and you feel like kind of tackling the world together with this person. Big like momentous things have happened in this relationship. Really exciting. I'm excited to get into this. There are challenges still here for me, and this is coming through for the people that I feel like I'm talking to some people that have been really revisiting down memory lane recently, and like walking away down that lane, like you've lost direction, like you're going far back, and you're replaying everything about the ending most specifically, and all the things you didn't get to do. Like we were supposed to take this trip across the world together, see the world together. We were supposed to get this house together, but something didn't happen. It didn't happen. Something ended, but you're kind of caught in the past a little bit. Why don't we look at these cards together? And I think we should clear up some more messages, Aquarius. There is a real sense of courage and boldness in whatever you're doing at this time. That's why I think this is adventure mode here, like doing something for both of you that is something you've always dreamed of doing, taking a big chance, doing something that's very like explorative, very exciting, but you have to be bold and courageous in your undertakings. On this trip, now that you finally get to get away from all the stress of the mundane and the day-to-day world, Six of Swords always talks about like just an access away or some sort of a transition away from the stressful things, the things that get us down in everyday life. Maybe there'll be some sort of a proposal here for somebody, or there is just this like there's somebody's coming towards you, making an advancement here on this trip, or whatever this undertaking thinking is like after that it comes like a declaration of even further like deeper love, deeper connection with each other. For those who are walking down memory lane, and this seems to be a relationship that has run its course now, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of way to get any, this to be basically resurrected hereafter. You think, oh, well, that was really disappointing because we had such high hopes for this relationship. We wanted to see the world together. We wanted to do all these things together. We wanted to like basically have our life together. Whatever happened there, we're going to have to clear it up and see what that was coming through for some. You guys are opposite, very opposite attracts in this relationship. Like the Lovers and the Two of Swords is just offsetting factors here, but there's for some reason a beautiful balance is struck. Two figures here, two swords here. Even though this is very different and you're very different to each other in many ways, it strikes a beautiful balance in this relationship, I think. Okay, there might be, for some of you that have ended a relationship and this can't go any further, the annoying thing is that there may be actually something that there still has to be put up a fight and some sort of a struggle for. And look at this card, it just kind of looks like to me like a bit of a blur. There's a lot going on here. There might be some obstacles still, and even a child might be involved here, or children, and that's why there are more obstacles around like completing this relationship, because you know we have factors like our children to think about, or you know it doesn't have to be a child in the most literal sense of that, something that you once created together. Maybe there's like not custodial ties around that, but there's something around that like which still binds you contractually, like a business arrangement, a lease, a mortgage or something. So it's kind of hard for you to fully forget and move on at this very moment just. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so overall right now you're very excited about what's to come in this relationship. For those of you who are in a relationship, oh, let's see, oh my goodness, this card has gone way down into a little crevice. And it was the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Cups. Well, that's beautiful energy to be coming through. For some, this is a big indicator of that wheel turning and taking a fabulous trip and it coming like at the best time. Like this is like when things happen at just the most opportune time. Ace of Cups and Wheel of Fortune, you're like, oh my God, I really couldn't have asked for this, better timing. So whatever you're really excited to get going and start to explore together, do together. For some, it is a big trip, and that's just really screaming at me now with the Wheel of Fortune. That's all about travel, even air travel. Like look, this looks to me right up in the sky, wings to fly, and then look, could we land on this island somewhere? Oh my gosh. So some of you might be actually like planning a dream honeymoon, just planning like something, a trip for a milestone occasion or celebration, and that's what you're really excited about in this relationship. I think if anything, if a trip or some sort of a something that like you're really excited to start to do, even if it's just like doing up the new house that you've gotten in the Fool card, like that's a new beginning, a new chapter of your life that you just can't wait to get going on, and everything is syncing up so nicely. Like you're like, this is perfect. You're going to be brought so much closer together. Ace of Cups, it's my favorite. I think this is my favorite version of the Ace of Cups that I've ever seen. Salvador Dali deck, just stunning. Oh my God, and I can really see this as just landing on a beautiful island together, getting off a plane. You have to get a boat to your destination. Like imagine that, just paradise. But paradise can be created anywhere in the world, right? And it can be created in our own mind essentially. So paradise is what you're looking for with this person, and maybe you found it, and maybe it doesn't have to be a trip to the Mauritius. Maybe this is just been found in your living room, in front of the fireplace, sitting in the back garden, wherever it is. Like this feels heavenly to you, this relationship, and that's why you're so excited. Okay. What have you been moving on from in this relationship, Aquarius? And let's put this for those who are walking down memory lane or those who are excited about the next chapter in their life. We'll take a message for both of you guys. The Six of Swords, moving on from something, perhaps it was difficult at a certain time. You've really come to terms with it now. It doesn't even really bother you anymore. It did bother you, but it's ancient history now for some. So let's see what that's been about. Ace of Pentacles. yeah, like both of these cards really represent a new beginning also. Ace of Pentacles is the opportunity to take a new direction, or say yes to an offer or something that aligns, that you say, yep, I'm going to start that. That sounds like it's a bit of me. Six of Swords is very much about making a transition away from something that you really needed to actually get away from. Like the timing was so right that this opportunity came up. So maybe you guys won a trip. I'm really hell-bent on this trip, you guys, and I'm sure this is only going to speak to like maybe a couple of Aquarius, or even if any. I hope this message reaches you, because this could have been like a winning a trip, or like, you know, your parents stepped in and they said, hey, we'll take the kids, or like, you get going, like you need to do this, like, and you've just had a lot of help and assistance, and this has just come like not out of thin air, but like we've two aces here, Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. Really, aces are just the potent opportunity for aligned options coming up, like things just falling into place, and you hear about something, and this could have been very much like a great deal that came up that you couldn't even say no to, and this is basically a deal or an offer came your way, and it's helped you get away from get away from the humdrum, get away from like a boring element of your relationship, or it's offered you an escape essentially from some aspect of your relationship. And you might be saying, no, I love my relationship, that's all good, but actually maybe unbeknownst to yourself, like this offer to, you know, pick up a part-time job or pick up some extra hours or do some extracurricular work after school, like maybe that's giving you the opportunity to create like a healthy sort of distance in the relationship where you're not always around each other. I don't know, something like that maybe. Okay, so the World card, but most of you are really feeling like this relationship will go the distance, that it's something that's built to last, and whatever that means to you, whether it means marriage, children, house together, whatever that means, traveling the world together, it could be anything like that, and you're thinking about that a lot right now, and it's coming up for you. For others though, this is the contemplation of, wow, that was a really long-term relationship, or wow, that was a big investment of mine, and it didn't turn out well. Let's see. King of Coins. If you're dealing with a Taurus or a Capricorn right now, this could be the person that this relationship has ended with, and if not, it's somebody in your life, a Capricorn or Taurus, that's like very stable, very supportive of you. You can really depend on them. Well, I really do think that this is more so a Capricorn or Taurus that's going to be there to go the distance with you, to make the dreams that you have come true together, to take this relationship as far as it will ever go, kind of till death do us part, really, and to be by each other's side forever. Okay, so what kind of, there was like some sort of a balance that needed to be struck, and you had to kind of shave away certain elements of this relationship, I'm seeing. Like you had to cut some things off, cut away some dead weight, kind of like get rid of some old immature habits that had been coming with you for a long time. The Devil, right, that's always an energy that we would like to just cut away from. The Devil is whatever controls us and holds us powerless. It's like this person really wants to take, this is the full leap, right? This is the full leap of faith. This is what it looks like in a lot of decks. The Fool is about to jump off a cliff, follow their spirit-led purpose, and something is pulling you right back in and saying, nope, you can't do that. So there is a lack of freedom here, and that might have been what you guys needed to sort out in this relationship. You might have started saying to each other, oh, should we be giving each other a little bit more, personal space, more freedom. We don't need to always be low. Like, I get the sense that there was a lot of like overburdening each other with problems in this relationship, and like, of course, that's what a support system is supposed to be there for in many ways in a relationship, but it was becoming a very often, and it was becoming maybe the other person maybe didn't actually have the space to hold this these issues that you were having, or like to hold your emotions as well as their own. So maybe that's kind of something that you needed to start kind of chipping away at, and you said, you know what, I'm going to cut this sort of a codependent tie that we have, just a slight one. Like, this isn't anything that's super toxic or anything, but you did realize that by cutting this away, and maybe you say, I have other people I can talk to. I can talk to a professional. I can talk to a very trusted dear friend of mine. or whatever it may be, and you say, I don't really need to always be going over this with the person I'm with, that might have been really helpful in terms of like how you've been liberated, I guess. And I guess all you wanted to do was cut any ties that kind of felt like keeping each other stuck. And like also there's like an enabling here, like, oh, you might be saying things to each other like, I feel like I'm never going to accomplish anything. I feel like we're always going to be stuck in this maybe small town, or it's not where we want to be. And then the other person is kind of agreeing and enabling, and neither of you were really going to say like, well, no, we can make a big change here. And that's what you've done recently in the Fool card. So that's what this, you've really liberated yourself from this. And the Devil energy and the Two of Swords, this is a subconscious part of the reading. This isn't even really happening like physically or literally right now. It's just you've been aware that that's been an unhealthy pattern in your relationship. And guess what, Aquarius? You've changed it. And now you're feeling much more optimistic about where this relationship can go and so forth. Okay, let's have a look at the Page of Cups, past energy. I want to see what this was all about. You were in a very comfortable space with each other to communicate your opinions and your, let's say, emotions, feelings, doubts and insecurities. What am I trying to say? You were in this position to be extremely vulnerable with your person. Exposing everything about you, like even childhood trauma was coming up now. And you know what? That is one of the most powerful things about being in an aligned relationship. Like, we're really always, everybody is a mirror of us in this lifetime. The Lover's card, perfect example of our soulmate, our lover just being a reflection of us. We're here to grow often through relationships is one of the best ways our soul can evolve, because once we're in that intimate space where we can be totally vulnerable, we can really start to bring forward some things from our past even, or some unhealed trauma. Now, that's where we can fall into this, oh, how much am I treating my person like a therapist versus my soulmate or my other half, my respected partner. But at the same way, it allows you at least to vocalize them and then take another direction with them. So through this relationship, and lately, let's look at Page of Cups. Lately, a lot of this work has been done. Like, you've been able to tell this person things that you haven't told people before maybe, or that you're ready to talk about. Six of Pentacles, okay, in reverse, energy exchange, right? Particularly if you've been dealing with the Taurus, actually, Aquarius, they do seem like they can hold a lot and they have the space for it, but you've become aware, like, yeah, I might be overburdening my Taurus a little bit. But anyway, this just talks to me kind of about, not that any of your issues are burdens, absolutely not, Aquarius, but just that the person you've been dealing with, although they seem so stable and grounded and mature and level-headed, they might actually be more overwhelmed than they're letting on. And maybe there's just a slight unfairness here as to who is the person lending the ear and holding space for the other. And just be mindful that you're holding space for that person too. And that might just look like literally taking space, having some quiet time apart from each other so that they can kind of recuperate. And yes, you know, that's all that might be, that recently there's been exchanges and your person might have talked to you, and this might be a person that has had to open up and say, you know what, I love you, but I'm not sure if I can handle this right now, or if I'm not sure if I can cope with this right now. Okay, so we're stepping into an energy of the need to have some courage at this time, Aquarius, especially with what decisions you're making around this relationship. It seems like you need to be bold in your undertakings, have conviction, and be sure about what it is that you're doing on these next steps. So let's clear up the Two of Wands for this reading. Knight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, because there's a lot of factors here that are unsettling and that you're kind of unsure about. So things that have been kind of overwhelming for you in terms of, especially if there's a trip, like a lot of back and forth, or a lot of like change of plans, change of direction, all happening very suddenly for you. Some of you as a couple need to seem to be coming up against somebody that's quite difficult. One minute they're saying this, or one minute you've got the go ahead with a yes, and then it switches like quickly to a no, very back and forward. So you need to be strong in your conviction, so that even though things are changing around you in relation to what this is, could be the trip, could be the enterprise, could be the house, could be whatever it is that is talking to you about something that you're excited to get going with in this relationship. There has been back and forth on it, and there has been some sort of like mixed messages, to say the least. Okay, Knight of Cups. For some Aquarius, this is going to look like a proposal, I think, or like a really an advancement of love and affection that you're delighted with and want to say yes with. If not, like the Two of Cups here at the bottom of the deck, an offer that you would just be, of course, willing to take one of these cups. The Sun in reverse. If not, this Knight of Cups is coming through as a potential suitor for somebody who's single here. Even if you're not single, there might be somebody that's coming in towards you that maybe you're going to put a block up because you just see them as maybe too cocky. You see them, oh my gosh, cocky, that is so funny. Whoops. But you see them like this person thinks the sun shines out of their ass, like they're kind of a sort of like, what would you call this kind of a person? Like a fuckboy, like somebody who is just all words, no, like all talk, no walk. And they have a real way with words, real way with the ladies or the men that in their life that they want to pursue. Like everybody falls for this person. So yeah, somebody like that is coming in, the energy of somebody who's very cocksure of themselves, probably like a little bit in their ego as well. So you want to watch out for that, any advancements coming in like that. The Ten of Swords. This represents for me the person who has become aware that this ending between you and the person seems more final than it did before. Something has changed and reached a certain level of like there's no going back from this. Maybe something was unforgivable, and maybe it's just not possible. The Page of Coins in reverse. You could have been in school with this person, you could have met them through like higher education or some course you were taking. Right, it took a long time for you to face the facts that this was over, okay? And now this doesn't apply to everybody. This is just a message coming through around the Ten of Swords. It took a long time because there was all this communication was kind of filling you with false hope for a while, and facts weren't being able to be faced because really there was like a very big blur around what was true and what was not. Okay. For some of you, you're realizing that in this relationship, a certain element of something is over. And for me, I think it's like the fact that you guys were going to start something together, like a course or something. And now you've realized like that's going to be a no-go. All right, so let's see. Lover's card. Let's talk about this relationship. A card to clear up the essence of this relationship that you're thinking about right now, Aquarius. Whoever you're thinking about, this is the Lover. And we've got another ace, the Ace of Wands. This relationship is super passionate. At the kind of core of this, there's like a burning passion for each other still. Like look at this energy, like so very sexual chemistry, just burning passion, like can't get enough of each other. And for some, like you're kind of willing to risk anything for this person, really. Like you're willing to, like the Game of Cards in this version of the tarot deck here, or the tarot Ace of Wands, like you're willing to take a gamble for this person, risk it all. Fool card energy is about risking it all. So okay, Five of Wands. Let's just end this reading and see what's coming through here around the Five of Wands. The Star in reverse, which is the Aquarius card. So yeah, something does attempt to take you away from whatever you've been healing at this time. I think something could come up for you guys where it's an old fight, repeating an old fight. You're like, oh, are we really being put up? Is this being put to us again? Like we have to try and figure out a way that we don't fall back into old habits, or just in a way like we need to figure out how we're going to overcome these obstacles. They keep coming up for us, and something similar, like it's a wound that hasn't been healed in this relationship yet, or like I was talking about these maybe like a past wound from an old relationship that still comes up in this relationship. Like you might have like sort of an attachment wound that's still prevalent, an abandonment wound, some trust issues coming up that still creep into this relationship, even though that was nothing to do with the person you're with. The Star card in reverse just says there is still healing to be done, and that's going to be how you kind of get over a lot of the obstacles obstacles, because a lot of the petty fights that you guys have are just linked to unresolved wounds and unhealed wounds, and that can be worked on, and that isn't really necessarily something that is a result of anything to do with this relationship, like lack of compatibility or the person you're with or the person you are. It's just something that hasn't been healed yet, something that hasn't been brought to the surface. All right, Aquarius, that is your reading. Feel free to hit subscribe if you liked this, and I will see you soon.